Sorry, everybody. I'm holding the phone here today, and my hand's a little bit shaky, but we're out here with all the wild birds, including meat and potatoes. Their babies were out flapping around in the yard earlier. They've been practicing getting their wings. They were up on top of the barn, even. That's the first time we've seen that. And the kids had a busy day of practicing hopping around on the ground. But the parents here are watching out for them. Trying to hold it with both hands and see if we can stabilize it a little. I'm not sure why it's so shaky. I'm sorry. But that's potatoes up there. And down over here, there's meat doing a little preening. Just kind of a short stream to hang out with them before running and doing some errands here. But that particular spot right there is a favorite of theirs. Hey there. They love that particular tree, that sweet gum tree here. Back over to the left is where the barn is, where their two babies have started to explore more. The babies hatched out sometime in early April, and they get out and run around in the grass, hop up in the air, flap their wings a little bit. And so the babies are starting to try to figure out how to fly. From what I understand or me remember reading about them, they actually will stay with their parents for 8 months. We've got, we turned around and we're saying, hey, what are you doing? I know vultures can get a bad reputation, but they're so full of character. They have such big personalities. They do really remind me of just a weird, awkward chicken. You see a lot of the same behaviors out of them. In the background, we've got the yellow-billed cuckoo vocalizing. Lots of other different species. Put out some bird seed this morning and everybody's having a blast. And we did a little stream with the goats this morning of them just walking around browsing and just changing it up today. Hopefully we can get another hummingbird stream in tomorrow. Not going to have too much time today. I do want to do another maybe 2-3 hour stream, so we'll try to get charged up entirely for that. But just wanted to do this one. We didn't have our full battery, but we had service right here where we could show them to you all. That mosquito is biting here, sorry. It's been so neat to watch this little family of them together, watching how they interact with each other. And Potatoes here is the more distant one that likes to stay further away from you, but over here, Meat likes to be closer to what you're doing, figure out what you're up to, and just laid out in the shade over there on the mower. But they're staying a lot closer now. You can hear that hawk in the background. Before the babies started to explore outside of the barn, they'd stay gone for most of the day, out scavenging, looking for food. But as the babies have started to come out of the barn and explore out in the open, you'll see one, if not both parents, out watching, making sure they're okay. And if neither of them's around, the babies will not be out and about by themselves usually. But that's what you see here is both the parents are just sitting up here around the barn watching. I'm sure it's a big relief now that their babies are almost entirely feathered and a lot larger because when they hatched out, they were so small. And I wasn't sure what kind of predators might be around that would try to visit their spot in the barn. The thing about them is they don't build a nest. They went into the old barn and just bloop, eggs right on the floor of the barn. They don't do like other birds and, have sticks or moss or something like that. They just laid their eggs right there and incubated them. Then the babies hatched out. And again, no nest. They just stayed in place right there in the barn. And they would hide behind some things, but especially as they got older and they moved around a lot more. But that was an interesting thing to learn about them is that they don't have a nest. They just take advantage of something like that. Sorry, all these mosquitoes. But they take advantage of something like that, like an old barn, abandoned building, something, and lay their eggs there. With our hummingbird friends, the hummingbirds, that's all mom's job. The male has nothing to do with the nest or the tending of the young, but with these guys, they've got their eye up for something. They must see another hawk or another vulture around. There's a turkey vulture that hangs out around here too. You can sometimes see them down the road at some kind of, food source. together with that one solitary turkey vulture, and it flies around here. It doesn't really come around, but it does like to fly over. But with these, mom and dad are both active with the babies. They took turns with incubation. Again, from what I think I remember reading, that they basically take like 24-hour shifts where one will stay on the eggs one day and then they swap out and the other one will be on there. And so they kind of have equal partnership outside of laying the eggs, obviously, of taking care of the little ones. And then once they hatch out, they take turns watching after them and keeping them warmed up, getting food for them. They've been such good parents, just seeing how often they stay around and check on the kids. Get a stretch. Yep. I bet they sure are happy today. We've had so much rain that now they actually get to sit out here in the sunshine. Clear day. They're still not so sure about the phone. If I ever have the phone